Today we're going to be talking about the truth about free time, and I'm sure you guys have a ton of free time at the moment, so stay tuned. I, Lindsay Frederick, promise to tell the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth. We're going to be talking a lot about purpose today, and passions, and free time, because they all kind of go together. We were all created with a purpose. God created you with specific talents, skills, passions. In order to use those, He didn't just give you those things for no reason, and so what we do in our free time can help show us what we're passionate about and ultimately then what we're created for. So I want to ask you, what does your free time look like? And do you know what your purpose is in life? What I see a lot of nowadays is people not knowing what their purpose is, what they want to do with their life. Okay, just quick side note, let's not get purpose and career mixed up. They're not one and the same necessarily. Ideally, your passions and your skills and your talents would be also what brings in your income and your stability. However, that's not always the case. For example, me right now, I'm passionate about media. I know I'm created to spread truth through media, through music, and those are two things I love to do. However, I do have 3 jobs on the side of this that are my source of income so that I can do what I'm created for. You should get a job that you're passionate about, and your passions should be part of your career. And that is what I'm working towards, is to make videography, to make music, to make Truth Channel my career. And so this is just the starting process. So yes, that is my ultimate goal. Y'all have heard it. I've spoken it out. So hold me accountable, please. But yeah, I think when we have jobs that we're passionate about, then you never work a day in your life. Yes, I believe that's true, and I've already started to live that way, and I really do love what I do. So I would encourage you to do that and use your passions to bring income. But sometimes you will need a career in order to enable you to fulfill your purpose. So let's go back to free time. Free time will reveal, I think, what we are made for, what God created us for, because in our free time, our natural skills, talents, and passions will usually be displayed within those times because it's what we want to do, and we're likely to go do the things that we're passionate about in our free time, right? However, there's something that I've noticed that in my own life has been hindering me from pursuing my passion, and that is distractions, and specifically screen distraction. So that would include social media, TV, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, video games, maybe phones, all these things are distracting us within our free time. And disclaimer, I'm not trying to say like, oh, Netflix is bad, YouTube is bad. Obviously, YouTube isn't bad. I'm sitting here, you're watching my videos. I hope you guys are watching them. But a point I want to make is there's a difference between free time and downtime. Downtime would be probably where you would want to find these things and fill your time with Netflix, movies, whatever, because downtime is the time for your brain to rest, and we all need good, healthy rest. So if you want to do those things in your downtime, cool, but when they're filling your free time, that's when it can become dangerous to us truly figuring out who we are, what we were created for, and fulfilling and growing in our passions and our purpose. How are we ever supposed to know what we were created for if we don't use our free time to discover that and to really press into who God made us to be? If our free time is us just sitting in front of a screen, we're becoming a passionless society. And I think that is very prevalent, especially in my generation and the generations below me. Is like, we get to college and we're like, we don't know what we want to do. And it's like, I think part of it could be that we don't know what we are passionate about because we've spent all of our free time, sitting in front of a screen and comparing ourselves to others and not emphasizing what God's already given us to be, and so I just can't help but think about, before the screens came, like, what did people do in their free time? Their free time was probably occupied by doing the things they love. If they were bored, they would just go, read a book, write, sew, I don't know, plant a garden. They had nothing better to do but their passions, and so I feel like they probably had a better idea about who they were, what they loved, and what they were created for because of that. And so I think I truly started to see this within myself of how distracted I was in my free time. Once I gave up my phone for a week, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I'm bored, and I couldn't just go to Instagram, and I couldn't just go on YouTube, or I couldn't just get on something to like occupy my time. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll go practice my piano, or well, I guess I'll go write a song or read a book. And I found myself, I was so much more passionate, and I was actually doing the things that I loved, and I was growing. If I would have had my phone at that moment, I would have just wasted that time sitting on it. And it just made me think, like, how much time have I already wasted because of my phone and because I was distracted? And maybe it's not a phone. Maybe it's, you're using your social life to distract you from the things that you're created for. And so I just want to say, like, there's plenty of distractions. I just see screens as a very prevalent one in our society today. This is a very relevant topic for our time, as many of us are going to have way more free time than we usually do. And so I just want to challenge you guys to turn off the screens and really take advantage of this time to see, hey, like, what am I created for? What am I good at? What are my passions? And grow in those, and see if there's a way that you can, use that to help others, or to maybe make a little bit of side income, whatever that is, to utilize your passions, because God has given you those for a purpose. And really press into, like, why has God given you those gifts and those talents? There's one verse specifically that I want to talk about, and that's John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. And then 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a lion seeking someone to devour. These two verses, I think, just emphasize the fact that there is an enemy trying to get us to not fulfill our purpose. And whether you believe in the Bible or not, I think we can all agree there are things that come against us in life that try and hinder us from reaching our goals and our full potential. And that is a biblical perspective. And that would be the enemy is trying to come and truly stop us from understanding and pursuing what God created us for, because he knows it's powerful. He knows that if we were to be fully present, be diligent in using our free time to fulfill our passions, that we would be a very powerful people, and he doesn't want that. And so what I want to present to you is, as I was thinking on this verse, I was like, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay, so it's like, how does one steal something? Well, if I'm trying to steal something, well, first I have to distract the person that I'm trying to steal from, right? So it's like, is the enemy stealing away your purpose by distracting you with these things? Is he already winning the game just because he has gotten you to pay more attention to this than what God has created you for? And that was something that was super, like, whoa to me, because I was like, shoot, yeah, I think that's true. Like, I could be further along in this if I wouldn't have taken so much time to sit around on my phone, and that's the honest truth. And so I've been trying to put, limits on my screen time, limits on my social media time, and really be diligent with my time. And I would challenge you guys to do that too. Diligence is a very prevalent topic that they talk about a lot in Proverbs, if you're looking for more verses on that and just motivation on that. Proverbs 10:4, a slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Proverbs 13:4, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Proverbs 12:24, the hand of the diligent will rule, while the slothful will be forced to labor. We're either using our free time distractedly or diligently. And I just want to ask you, are you distracted in your free time, or are you using it to be diligent and to really dive into your talents? This is such a valuable time that we have as a society to kind of be forced to be at home, and we're going to have some more downtime, so let's use it to our advantage, and let's really truly discover, like, who we are. And if you don't know that God has a purpose for you, he does. He created you, and he didn't create you just to create you. He created you with a perfect purpose. Ask him, God, what did you make me for? What talents do I have? And it might not be like a talent like, oh, I do this. It might be like, I am this. Like, I am very wise or patient or whatever. And how can you emphasize that in order to really use that in your relationships and encourage others and build the community around you? Ultimately, God has blessed us to bless others, and that's financially, that's with our gifts, with whatever, We've each been blessed differently. It talks about that in 1 Corinthians 12. For the body does not consist of one member, but many. If the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear were to say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would be the sense of hearing? If the whole body were an ear, where would be the sense of smell? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them, as he chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? Paul, in this letter, is talking about how God has given each person different talents and skills, and your gifts might not look like someone else's, but that's okay, because we still need your gifts, we still need your skill, we still need your talent. Whatever God has gifted you in, we need it. So don't be discouraged by looking at other people and what they have and the talents that they have, but really look inward. Like, what has God created you for? He has a purpose for you. And so I really encourage you to just dive into that. Use your free time wisely, be diligent, not distracted, put away your phone, and let's be a society that is passionate. And so that is the truth about our free time. It is a valuable time that can really point us towards what God has created us to be. How are you using your free time? So that's all I have for you guys this week, and there will be more and more to come in the next following weeks, probably extra videos since I have some extra time. I want to use my free time to make more content, so stay tuned for those, and be sure to share and like and subscribe so that we can just reach so many people with truth in this time, and maybe a little bit of entertainment, give them something to watch. So that's all I have for you. Bye.